Today we'll look at the typical methods of the string class, which I found in a Java quick reference that I'll link in the description. And firstly we have the constructor, which constructs a new string object that represents the same sequence of characters as the string that's passed in as a parameter. And we've seen a difference between dynamic and direct initialization. And consider this output of our Java program. And the methods of the string class are called using the dot operator. So we have the string object dot and the method. So the length method returns the number of characters in the string object. So here our str1 object has 5 characters. So the length method returns 5. So the length method effectively returns an integer. Now the substring method can be called in a number of ways. So we can specify the from index and the to index. And this effectively returns a substring of str1 from index from to index 2 minus 1. So in this case, the substrings returned from index 0 to index 2 minus 1, which is 1. And therefore, te is output. Now another way to call the substring method is by using the from index. So this returns a substring of str1 starting from index 3. So we have 0, 1, 2 and 3, which is this t, up to the length of the string minus 1, or the remaining characters in that string. So this call is going to return t1. Now the index of method returns the index of the first occurrence of the string that's passed in, or minus 1 if the string's not found. So effectively this method returns an integer. So in this case st occurs in the string str1 and it starts at index 0, 1, 2. So the method is going to return 2. Now the equals method returns a boolean being a true or false. So if the characters in the string object are the same as the characters of the compared object, then this method returns true. So test1 is equal to test1 in this case, and you get a true. Then in the second comparison, test1 is not equal to test2, so that returns a false. And in the third comparison, we have test1 being equal to test1 in str4, so that returns a true. Now the compare2 method compares two strings lexicographically, which is based on a Unicode value of each character in the strings. And we can look at this intuitively. So we have the characters in str1 being equal to the characters in str1. So the difference between these strings is 0. Now when comparing the characters in str1 to those in str2, all the characters are equal except the 1 and the 2. And the character 1 has a Unicode value that's less than 2 by 1, and therefore str1 is 1 less than str2. So you get a negative 1 here. And for example, if you compare test1 with test3, then you get a minus 2 and so on. And if instead you compared str2 with str1, then you get a positive 1 instead. So try writing the code yourself and testing it. Now we can also compare two string objects using the equals boolean operator. So here we have str1 is equal to str1, so that gives a true. And similarly str1 is equal to str3 because str1 exists in the pool and therefore str3 points to the same object. And str1 is not equal to str4 because we can see that str4 is declared in the heap using dynamic initialization. So therefore, even though it has the same characters, the objects are not identical. So you get a false here. Now we can also concatenate strings using the concat method. So in this case, we write str1 concat str2, and because we can't modify an existing string object, then this does nothing. And str1 remains as test1. Now on the other hand, if we concatenate str1 with str1, and then assign it to str1, another string object gets created, and we can see that the output is string1 concatenated with itself. So you get test1, test1. And have some practice with these methods, and post any questions you have in the comments.